What I'm going to talk to you about first is the most important of all things to do with an underwater camera. Just about any underwater camera you're going to find, one that will go to any depth at all, is going to have lots of O-rings. There's O-rings in everything. Here's the dome port, O-ring there. Here's the back of the case, O-ring there, okay? And you see we're using a pretty nice camera with a sizable investment. We don't want to ruin it, and it will be ruined, completely ruined, if any water gets into the case. So let's talk about how to service the O-ring, the most important first step. In this pile of goodies on this table are several ways to put together an underwater video camera. But it all has O-rings to seal the water out. Let's start with, very simply, one of the strobes on this setup. This is an Untitled strobe, and it's really simple. This is the battery compartment right here, and it's sealed with a little door like this, and it has one O-ring on it. Okay, we want to service this O-ring so we can put the batteries in this and make sure that it's going to work for us and not leak. If it leaks, it's going to ruin a very expensive piece of equipment. Okay, here we go. Okay, this is the back for this housing. It has grooves in it for the O-ring to set down in, so it is really positive on how it sets in there. But we have to make sure there's no sand or lint or anything in there before we put this together. Untitled sends little tubes of silicone grease with all their equipment. I've got enough of these to last a year or so. You can buy it in a larger size too, but these are super handy. Okay, we take this all apart and we run the O-ring through our fingers like this, and then we inspect it very, very carefully. Okay, set it someplace clean. Take a Q-tip. Now, this is not the average Q-tip. These are the kinds that have the firm tips, not the standard ones. The standard ones will leave more lint and really cause you a lot of trouble. The firm ones work much better. Okay, you get into this groove right here, go all the way around and make sure there's no sand in it. Now look at it real close. I can see it's really clean. I do the same battery box lip where the seal touches. Okay, that's clean. Look at it again. Look at the O-ring again. And put this in here. Okay. Get it real clear. Okay, now it's time to put the batteries in. There's a drawing inside that shows you which way to put the batteries. So we got that okay. We put there's only one way the door can go on. It has this flat side on it. Screw that down. Make sure it's not too tight. Don't need to use any kind of a screwdriver here. Tighten that down. And I always turn it on. Make sure the red light comes on. There we go. Red light, we should be good. Do that for the other one. We got the strobes all ready to go. Very simple. This one we do the same way. Clean this, clean the O-ring, slide it on there, double check it, it's ready to go. Much more complex than the little one, okay? Then it keeps getting bigger. There's one around the back of the housing with a camera in it, probably one of the most important ones. This one we have to do the same way. It's a bigger O-ring, way bigger. we got to clean this groove around here. We got to clean the O-ring, and we're going to make sure we get it all back together, and we inspect it maybe 10 times to make sure that it's okay. Doesn't even hurt to have somebody else look at it. Sometimes you can miss a little piece of lint. Okay, if you have any questions about O-rings and what to do about them, let me know. If this wasn't clear enough, I'll do a more detailed one and we can talk about it. But the O-rings are the most important part of any underwater equipment because they keep the water out. You get the least little bit of salt water in this and the whole thing is ruined because it reacts with all the electric stuff. Gone. How to actually apply the O-ring grease. Okay. After we've inspected the O-ring and we don't have any salt from salt water on it, which is the most difficult thing here in Mexico, is this pesky salt gets everywhere. Okay, we take a little bit of our O-ring grease, squeeze a little bit out of this tube on our finger, just the tiniest amount, just like that, maybe not even that much. Rub it between your finger and thumb, okay, to where your thumb and finger are just a little bit shiny. Then run this O-ring, kind of get it over here in the crack of your finger, and then run this O-ring, don't stretch it though, you can stretch these out, and turn it a little bit as you pull it. All you want is the O-ring to be just a little bit shiny. If it has any globs of grease on it, it's too much. Re-inspect it for salt, lint, fuzz, hairs, any kinds of things like that. When it looks like this, it's ready to go.